This is Net News Network Headline News for all your national and world news you won't hear on MSM. The FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, completely corrupt office founded nearly on corruption. If you've looked at the history of the FBI, you'll know that not too long after its inception, old J. Edgar decided to start keeping secret files on people so he could use that to intimidate and motivate people to do what he wanted. Apparently this has continued through the years because now you have the FBI raiding Donald Trump's house looking for these supposed documents he stole from the White House regarding the January 6th insurrection. The way the January 6th insurrection is being handled by these Democrats also is a big corrupt joke. And the fact that they try to compare that event to the Civil War in some way, these people are living in some other reality. So apparently, though, the FBI is at the whim of the president or the president's Justice Department to go out and intimidate and act like we're some sort of communist nation using its special police to go out and do its bidding to cause fear and intimidation. And it's crazy to me that you've got people like Hillary Clinton and the email scandal and Jeffrey Epstein and all of that, and Hunter Biden and his laptop, and Hunter Biden using crack cocaine on video, and yet none of these people were charged or investigated by the FBI during all this time. No, instead the media just put out there that this was all conspiracy theory and false, and all the fact checkers claiming that these things are false, even though now these things have come out to be true. And so what is Hillary Clinton doing now that this raid on Trump's house occurred the other day? Well, Hillary Clinton is now selling hats that say, "but her emails" on it. And to be fair, she's been selling these hats for some time, but, you know, if you're not aware of Clinton's story with this, Clinton used a private email server to conduct official state business with more than 2,000 of them classified by the State Department. She later deleted about 33,000 emails before government officials could investigate them. Again, why was this not a crime, or why was she not charged? A State Department internal inquiry into the Clinton emails found no deliberate mishandling, although it did find violations by 38 department officials. Some of the estimated 15 boxes of documents the FBI seized from Trump were classified too, the National Archives said. In this context, Clinton raised funds by selling clothing that referenced the email scandal. So, and Clinton claimed stupidity when it came to using certain servers and forwarding emails and this sort of thing, but she's not that stupid, even though we'd like to believe she is. She's not. She knew exactly what she was doing. And yet, as with most government officials, at least if you're a Democrat, you get a free pass. Imagine the random citizen under investigation by the FBI. Do you think you'd be afforded that sort of leeway, that sort of excuse? Stupidity. So we see all these people who are deemed untouchable by the government, all these political figures committing all this corruption day in and day out, you know, dirty stock trades and classified information, backdoor deals with countries that we aren't friendly with. All these things going on right in our face, day in and day out. And yet somehow we are expected to follow all these laws, law after law after law that these politicians make for us. And if we, Joe Citizen, does something wrong or steps out of line, then off to prison with you, or, fines so you have no money, or ruined financially and lose your job and all these things. How long are we going to let our government officials, and it's not just the Democrats, it's Republicans too, how long are we going to stand for this? Allow them to do this right in our face like this, like we're fools. Meanwhile, they become super wealthy and live this lifestyle that is completely out of touch with Americans. And also, in the meanwhile, taking away everything we have, or attempting to take away everything we have just to survive. Groceries, energy, gasoline, what kind of car you can drive. These politicians are a joke. Another joke is the forced vaccinations and medical emergencies that have gone on now for 2 years. And in a recent article, the CDC claims the link between heart inflammation and COVID-19 vaccines wasn't known for most of 2021. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has claimed that there was no known association between heart inflammation and COVID-19 vaccines as late as October 2021. CDC officials made the claim, which is false, in response to a Freedom of Information Act request for reports from a CDC team that is focused on analyzing the risk of post-vaccination myocarditis and pericarditis, 2 forms of heart inflammation. Both began to be detected at higher than expected rates after COVID-19 vaccination in the spring of 2021. The team focuses on studying data from the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, VAERS, a passive surveillance system co-run by the CDC and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. The date range for the search was April 2nd, 2021 to October 2nd, 2021. The National Center for Emerging Zoonotic Infectious Diseases performed a search of our records that failed to reveal any documents pertaining to your request, Roger Ando, a CDC records officer, told the Epoch Times. The center is part of the CDC. No abstractions or reports were available because an association between myocarditis and mRNA COVID-19 vaccination was not known at that time, Ando added. Both the Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are built on messenger RNA, mRNA technology. Reports of heart inflammation after COVID-19 vaccination were first made public in April 2021 by the U.S. military, which detected the issue along with Israeli authorities well before the CDC. While Dr. Rochelle Walensky, the CDC's director, said that month that the agency had looked for a safety signal in its data and found none, by the end of June, CDC researchers were saying that the available data suggests an association with immunization, and in August described the issue as a harm from vaccination. The claim that the link wasn't known is provably false, Barbara Lowe Fisher, co-founder and president of the National Vaccine Information Center, told Epoch Times via email. Either the right hand does not know what the left hand is doing at CDC, or federal health officials are disseminating misinformation about what they knew about myocarditis following mRNA COVID-19 vaccines and when they knew it. Senator Ron Johnson, Republican Wisconsin, said the FOIA response raises even more questions about the agency's honesty, transparency, and use or lack thereof of its safety surveillance systems, such as VAERS, to detect COVID-19 vaccine adverse events. I have sent 2 letters to the CDC about the agency's inability to find records demonstrating its use of the vaccine surveillance system. To date, the CDC has failed to respond to my letters. Apparently, CDC needs to make a correction, a spokeswoman for the agency told the Epoch Times in an email. The agency is acknowledging that by June 2021, data began to indicate a link between the mRNA vaccines and heart inflammation, outlined that month in 2 presentations made to government vaccine advisory panels. Additional data accumulated in subsequent months, ultimately leading to the conclusion that a causative association did indeed exist. However, such a conclusion required time to accumulate and analyze data, the spokesman said. It remains unclear how the CDC looked for a signal in April 2021. The CDC has declined to provide any details. The CDC Records Office did not respond to a request for comment. The correction is the second time in recent weeks the agency has backtracked on a claim. Ando, in June, told the nonprofit Children's Health Defense that staff from the agency's Immunization and Safety Office informed him that the agency would not perform data mining on VAERS, even though several CDC documents said the agency would perform the analyses. Questioned about the matter, Dr. John Su, a CDC official, told the Epoch Times that the agency started performing the data mining in February 2021. Noting the conflicting statements, Johnson wrote to Walensky asking her for answers. CDC's assertion and Dr. Su's statement cannot both be true, he said. In your face. Lies. And they're still pushing these vaccines on people, little kids, even though they know it causes heart inflammation and is not good for young people. People lost their jobs over this. I personally know somebody who had a heart attack and nearly died after getting his first booster shot with no history of heart problems, and the man is in good health and, not overweight, takes care of himself and all that. No history. Now he's on a slew of pills. They had to do CPR on him twice to revive him. Yeah. So you go get that shot. Why did they want to wait 70-something years to release the information on the vaccine? All these things don't add up, and they're all red flags. In your face, red flags. All these young athletes who have died recently for unknown reasons, there is a reason. Were they vaccinated? Did they have COVID? Because COVID could have caused it as well, but where did COVID come from? Not a bat. Control from chaos. That's what they want. That's in the communism cookbook. It's actually in leadership classes that you should cause a little bit of confusion or chaos so that you can ultimately take control, because when there's chaos, people are looking for someone to take charge or take control. There's a lot of chaos going on right now, and it's not just coincidentally all happening at once. It's too much all at once to be anything but a plan. I hope you're preparing accordingly, because this is going to get worse before it gets better. The only way out of this humongous mess the entire world is in right now is for some kind of do-over, some kind of reset, some kind of starting from scratch. They're putting the people they want in place to have the power and control and money when this happens, and the rest of us are going to be left out to dry. So I hope you are preparing accordingly for you and yours to be able to weather the storm that's ahead. This has been Net News Network Headline News. For more, visit netnewsnetwork.net. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.